my first job out of college was working on music videos. So I was a PA on Living on a Prayer with Bon Jovi, Crazy Train with Ozzy Osbourne, Girls, Girls, Girls with Motley Crue. Just so many music videos. It
Hmm.
was a lot of fun. I did Cutting Crew and um, was typically a PA or, a production manager. And that was fun. That was in the go-go 80s during when MTV was just getting started and music videos were all the rage. And they had a lot of great directors and great concepts, and they were a lot of fun. So I got a little bit of a taste of it there. And then I worked for a home video company that distributed, I would say, basically B movies when that was in, horror films and movies with Shannon Tweed and um, lots of movies about pom-poms and girls in harrowing circumstances. So that was a lot of fun
Right.
as well. So I spent a lot of time kind of on the business side, basically in entertainment. And most recently, I was a co-owner and head of sales and marketing for a distribution company, and we produced about, I don't know, 25 films, and I was the executive producer on about nine of them. They're all on IMDb, and one of them went to Toronto and with Billy Zane and Tippi Hedren and oh, just so many stars. It was crazy. Sandra Bernhardt. Um, the list is pretty endless. And it was based on an Ed Wood screenplay called I Woke Up Early the Day I Died. And it was super cool. And it was in the Midnight Madness program in Toronto. So I'm still behind the scenes. And then I got married and thought, I need a more sane life. Going to the Cannes Film Festival every year. Yeah, all that's really fun, but it's not very conducive to having a family. So I actually backed into a job doing executive recruiting. I worked for a small company that specialized in nonprofit recruitment called Shirley Associates, and that was great. And then I worked for a really big company, the largest recruiting company in the world called Korn Ferry, and that's all very executive level type of recruiting. And so that was great. But then I woke up one day and was like, okay, if not now, when? When am I going to really pursue my dream of being a comedian and being an actor? So on a phone call where I was basically muttering under my breath, I hate this job. I said to myself after the call was over, and luckily no one heard me, if this is how you feel, it's time to go. So my if not now, when, plus, really being just not inspired anymore with the corporate life, I hung up my blazer and I don't know, started doing stand up. And then that led to me doing theater. And then that led to me doing commercials and, acting. And that's what I'm doing now.
Wow, amazing. I
Yeah.
looked at your IMDb and I looked at your background. You've done a lot. The list goes
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Yeah. I've done a lot.
Um,
It's been exciting.
Everything that you have done, and I know
Yeah.
I shouldn't say favorite, but I am.
Yeah.
Everything that you've done, which
Yeah.
one was your best or your favorite moments?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. That's hard to pinpoint. There's so many favorite moments. I mean, being in the Midnight Madness in Toronto was exciting, but that was quite a few years ago. I'd say, honestly, um, as part of my other adventures, I did do some um, catching out on freight trains, which is basically jumping on a moving freight train and riding it somewhere. We were called Beverly Hills Hobos. It's probably not politically correct anymore, but that's what it was called. And it was a little organization that was started by actually a Hollywood actor and producer named Bob Hopkins.
Hmm.
And I actually went with my dad and a group of other people from Roseville, California, which is near Sacramento, to Dunsmuir, California, on a flatbed car. And we rode on that thing over all the trestles and over all the rivers. And that was like, I mean, that is like once in a lifetime. And then we got off in Dunsmuir and we slept in a cemetery because the king of the hobos was he was the caretaker of the cemetery. It was beautiful, right on the riverbanks. And there was a parade, and it was kind of all centered around something called Railroad Days, which they still have up in Dunsmuir every year. So if any people are interested in checking that out, they still
Wait,
have.
I have to ask. That is the most creepiest thing I've heard. You slept?
It wasn't scary at all. I know it sounds hard to believe, but it wasn't scary at all. It wasn't, it
Really?
didn't feel like it was haunted or anything like that. No, it was just a lot of fun. And
Okay. Okay.
because that lifestyle, which was migrant workers, interesting how there's a parallel to what's happening today, but I digress. Um, so hobos were migrant workers, and the way they would travel across the country to get work was by rail, and not the kind, and not Amtrak that you pay for. So we got to meet some really interesting characters. I mean, I remember meeting a guy named Guitar Whitey, and there was just all kinds of stories, and most of those people obviously have passed on, and that type of lifestyle is not really as prevalent as it used to be. So I feel like I was a part of a slice of history, so that was
Hmm.
really interesting. And yeah, we marched in a parade, and my hobo name is Jungle Jen. And that's because when you're hiding in the bushes before you catch out on the rail car, those bushes around the railroad are, it's called the jungle. And you have to watch out for the police, which are the bulls. Those are the, they don't, the railroad police, you're not, it's illegal, by the way. So I don't recommend people just doing it, and dangerous. But the way we were doing it is the train was practically stopped. It was moving really slowly because they were going out of the train yard. We're not jumping, we're not like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, jumping on and off moving rail cars. But it was a lot of fun. So that was my
Well,
most exciting moment, non-movie related. And then I don't know, I was just part of a really fun horror film called Skate Meet,
hmm.
which was I just wrapped that a couple of weeks ago, and that should be coming out, in the next few months.
You read my mind because I was about to ask you about that.
Yeah, it's a horror zombie film about my ne'er-do-well son leads a group of his friends who are also kind of ne'er-do-well pot smoker, they failure to launch, let's just say, and they go out to the desert to build a skate park. And somehow that disturbs the citizens that are out there who also happen to be cannibals. And, bad things happen, then worse things happen, and then I come to save the day. So mom saves the day, and I have my way with some of the cannibals, and
Hmm.
I end up, well, I don't want to give it away, but let's just,
Right, right. And
I'm bloody but happy at the end.
right. That's amazing. When is it coming out?
Yeah, I would say probably in the next 3 months.
I love zombie movies, so I'm definitely checking that out.
Yeah, it should be fun. It was a lot of fun.
It's
Director
you've done.
Don, yeah, Don Garcia directed it, and it's always great working with a female director, so that was really
Hmm.
good. It was great.
That's why I was about to mention the name, but you already mentioned the name for the director, and
Yeah.
she's amazing director,
Yep. She's done
amazing.
a few other things. She knows how to make things look really big budget with very small budgets.
Yes, I
Secret.
agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I want to talk about audition because
Mm.
things are changing,
Yep.
and um, do you prefer in-person audition or Zoom audition, or
Yeah.
what do you prefer?
Well, honestly, I live just outside of Los Angeles proper in San Clemente. It's about 50 miles. So for me, it's way better to do self-tapes and have callbacks online. And do I miss the room? Sure, I miss it, but do I miss the driving? No. And on any given week, I have, and lately, especially with verticals, I had 15 auditions last week. There's no way I could drive and do all those. So I
Wow.
can just do them all in my house. And, I've got it kind of wired and dialed in, and I just can churn them out, and I kind of know what they're looking for. And hopefully I'm going to book some because I've got about 5 more auditions to do for this weekend, and I would like to have booked at least a couple of those roles in the next few days. So we'll see what happens.
I know you can get some. I believe you
Oh,
can.
thank you. Yeah. I've done 15 verticals already in, either very small parts or I've
Hmm.
had some good supporting roles where I get to play the mean stepmother or the really nice mom. I play both. I'm versatile.
The really nice mom, not the mean mom. The nice mom is nice.
Yeah, the nice mom.
The entertainment industry is not easy peasy. You
No.
know, a lot of people think it is who want to get into the entertainment industry.
No.
And
Well, I think once they're in it for about 2 months, they'll figure out that it's not easy.
no,
No,
it's not. It's not.
it's
And I know you said in the
harder,
bit,
getting harder and harder.
yes, and I know you said in the beginning you had a degree. Um, do you recommend a lot of young actors and actresses to have an acting degree, or do you think it's okay to just, send self tapes, do auditions and just hope for the best?
Oh, that's such an interesting question. I mean, my degree was not in acting. My degree was in art history
Right,
and
right.
French literature. So, I mean, I think if you want to and you're really that passionate, but I feel like what leads to the best type of acting is a life lived fully. And so, of course, I'm a big liberal arts supporter and what people should explore other people, other places, and all kinds of emotions in different situations. So,
Mhm.
I think I would call myself kind of a late bloomer, and I'm sure that while it would have been nice to maybe started my career when I was 20 and maybe I would be a big star, maybe not. I don't know. I think that I lived a really interesting life, so I don't have any regrets. And I would tell a kid to, um, I always am very pro education. So I would say get an education no matter what. And it doesn't matter what your degree is in. And afterwards, if you find yourself wanting to pursue the arts, then get in class. That's what I recommend. You got to get in class and start doing the student films and audition for everything and take whatever anybody offers you that's, above board and just
That's
start
true.
building your experience and your connections and relationships because acting's like a lot of things. It takes practice. So
Hmm.
for better or worse in the new vertical short world, I'm getting a lot of practice acting and different characters, even though they definitely fall into archetypes. But that's okay. You can put a different twist on them and just try different things because why not? There's so many auditions and you can make bold choices and I've gotten a lot better at auditioning, that's for sure.
I agree. I mean,
Yeah.
acting and, go for it. Don't give up and just,
Don't go, yeah, I mean, have a good side gig, and um, be prepared to, you know, be resilient. You have to have
yes,
a high
be
level of
resilient.
resiliency and just know that you're special the way you are and you
Yes.
don't compare yourself with
Don't need to
others.
change yourself. Be who you are.
Be who you are,
Yes.
respect other people for who they are, and try not
Hmm.
to compare yourself and stay off social media. Unless you're making content for social media,
Yes.
I guess that's a different story. I've made a few things, but I just can't. That's a whole other, vertical, not to use the same word, but that's a whole other avenue of potential revenue. But that also takes a ton of time. People
Hmm.
don't just post 5 videos, then have a huge following and make a lot of money. Those men and women who are doing really well have been working on it for years, most of them. So.
Right.
Nothing's coming easy. That's what I guess the
No, just
point
you
is.
gotta work hard, have passion, have faith, and be yourself and go for it.
Yeah, and don't give up and be nice to yourself and other people.
100%. 100%.
Mhm.
What is the most challenging role you ever had?
The most challenging. Hmm. Well, I mean, I think the horror film so far because it was, you want to try to keep it grounded, but also it was so absurd. So walking that balance between, trying to just keep balance. Like my goal is
Hmm.
to save my son, and meanwhile, I've got a giant saber. and I am, Chinese style. That's how Dawn wanted me to do it, like the old um, samurai with a sword and, kill these zombies that are coming at me. So I think that was it. And there was also a lot of, blood, and so you're kind of sticky and gross, and
Hmm. Wow, that sounds a fun
it
act.
was fun. It was really fun. But I'm really looking forward to doing some tr challenging, dramatic roles that are, really heartfelt, good stories.
Hmm.
So I am doing a film coming up. You probably don't know about this, but in the fall, we don't have a start date yet, but it's in pre-production. I'm going to be part of an ensemble cast in a political thriller that's going to be really exciting.
Wow. I can't
Yeah,
wait. I know you can't say much. I totally understand, but
yeah. No, it's a political th thriller. Like I said, it's takes place in the Middle East, and basically we're evacuating some high-level government officials to a bunker, and the group that gets trapped in there, has some interesting things happen to them and challenges to solve, and yeah, a lot of heartache, and it's also very funny, which is perfect. It's got a lot of my characters, kind of sarcastic and kind of like me. It's perfect. So it's
oh,
fun. Good.
I can't wait to see that as well.
Yeah, no, it's going to be really good. I'm excited.
Amazing. What is the best advice you ever received or heard from?
Well, I'm a member of Hollywood Winners Circle, which Wendy Elaine Wright runs. And I mean, I think that everything that she teaches is always such good advice. And I think, something that I already said is, it's really important that you are your thoughts. So, everybody can go down a negative rabbit hole and talk themselves down, right? And that's that's easy to do, and a lot of people do it, including myself. So you have to remind yourself that, don't be mean. Like, okay, like and even my daughter sometimes will say, if I'm saying something like, "Oh gosh, I can't believe I didn't get it. I guess I suck," or whatever. She's like, "Hey, don't talk to my good friend like that." And she's just telling me, don't talk to yourself that way. You're a good person. So I think that's the best advice is, be kind
Wow,
to
that is
yourself and just tell yourself nice things, and try not to beat yourself up, and also, everybody's going through stuff.
that's true. And I
Yeah.
like what your daughter said. That's true. Be
Yeah.
yourself.
Hey, yeah, don't be mean to my friend.
Hmm.
Don't be
That's
mean to my
powerful.
friend.
That's
I know.
powerful.
She's so
100%.
wise. She's so wise.
I like that.
Yeah.
What is what's your most pivoted moment in your life so far?
My most pivotal moment. Hmm. Um, Gosh. I mean, I think the decision to leave corporate and pursue my creative endeavors was probably a pivotal moment for sure. Yeah, just to say, look, if not now, when? And I've got a book outline with the same title, but I haven't really written too much yet. But if not now, when? That's next. So
Wow.
yeah, I think deciding to pursue my passions was important.
Hmm.
And not that I didn't enjoy my other work. I mean, I loved being in sales and marketing, and then recruiting was great when it was, and producing music videos was fun. But I always kind of longed to be in front of the camera or on stage or entertaining, and so I've pursued that. And I guess being older, you also have a little thicker skin, and I don't care that much what people think. Of course, I do care, but I'm like, well, what's the worst thing that can happen? Like, you fail. Okay, well, you and everybody else in Hollywood every single day is not getting a part. So you're not the only one.
Right.
You just kind of have to look at
100%.
it
I
like
totally
that.
agree with you. You're not the only one.
I'm not the only one that's
Everybody has been
disappointed today.
everybody has been got a no or yes at a audition.
Yes,
So
yes.
that is
Big
100% true.
stars, little stars, not stars.
Yes,
Everybody. So you just have to kind of roll with the punches and keep swinging at the fences.
that's true. Don't give up.
Don't
Keep the
give up.
passion, keep courage, don't give
Keep
up,
going.
keep
Don't give up.
going. That's the one thing about it's the entertainment industry. You gotta go in there full force, believe in yourself.
Yeah, absolutely, you do. Yeah.
Like you said, 100%. I
Yeah.
mean, like you said, you're happy you left the corporate world. Um, I want to ask this one. If you could go back,
Yeah.
you were 7 years old, what
Uh-huh.
would you tell your 7 year old now?
Oh, I really liked who I was when I was 7. I would say, don't lose your joy ever, you know? Don't lose your joy. Keep an open mind, like you keep a childlike mind, you know? Don't don't worry. I believe that goodness is out there and you have to look for it. Yeah, so just keep looking for the bright side. I mean, I was a happy kid for the most part. Yeah, so I mean,
Hmm.
I tell myself not to lose that childlike joy and energy and believing and wonder and to stick with stuff and
Hmm.
yeah,
Wow.
lead with love. Love will find the
Right.
way. Yeah.
I want to ask you this because you're a mother,
Yeah.
and a lot of parents maybe who'll be watching this or tuning in this and asking themselves this question. What would your advice be for parents out there who have their kids who want to
Be in
go in,
showbiz.
yeah, get into showbiz? What's your advice?
Oh dear, that's a really loaded question. I mean, I suppose if they really, really are passionate, and it's not the parents' passion, but it truly is child-led passion that they want to pursue it, and that you're going to have to both make the commitment, the parent and the kid, because usually it's one that has to kind of be the stage mom, if you will. And I don't know, my kids were in the business. They were print models and in commercials. And honestly, if it's convenient, I would say, yeah, go to those auditions if it's not too much hassle or too far away. But really, I got to the point where I was driving my kids. When we moved here, I did live in Hollywood, and then it was a lot easier to take them, and it was no big deal.
Hmm.
But when we lived down here and fighting traffic to go up for a 5-minute meet and greet audition with, for the Disney catalog or whatever, and, the kids may or may not be happy in the car and you're stressed out trying to get there on time. I just decided I would rather just spend this time one-on-one with my kids at the petting zoo. It's not worth it. And, so that's when they're very young. But they can make some good money and make a college fund. So, it's a trade-off. And then, I don't know, I feel like kids already are so at a disadvantage with so much social media and phones that, they don't get to be kids that much. And being
Hmm.
being a actor, it's better than it used to be. I think they really take better care of the kids on set, but I don't know, it's a tough decision. I would not go into anything lightly without thinking about pros and cons and what the projects are and who their agent is.
Right.
Some obviously known child agents that are very respected and, you know, yeah, just have to do your research.
That's a good advice.
Yeah,
100%. Good
yeah.
advice. What's your why? Why are you doing this?
Why am I doing this? Well, I always told myself that I wanted to be an actor, and
Hmm.
then I never did anything. Well, I tried, and then I did a whole bunch of other stuff skirting around the issue, right? So I guess it's just to not like and grow old and die having never done it, never tried.
Right. We only live once.
Only exactly. YOLO, baby, YOLO. You only live once,
Yes. You
and if not
live
now, when?
once.
And I don't want to have regrets. And I don't expect I'm not striving to be some celebrity. I just want to pursue a craft, be a respected comedian, which, I think that I have some fans out there and be a good actor and do some good roles and, still do some theater as well and just pursue the craft and be with like-minded people and also to be around people that, support what I'm doing. So, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
so fun.
Wow. Well, Jennifer, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no, it was great meeting you, Ryochi. And
Yeah.
I know that this is on Spotify and YouTube, and where else can
And
we?
Apple Podcast.
Apple Podcast. That's great.
Yes.
And will we be able to post something and try to drive some listeners after?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that sounds great. Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for coming on. I look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, let's keep in touch.
We are definitely going to stay in touch. By the way, I love your energy.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
I can see the passion in you.
Oh,
I
thank you.
really do. And I can, that's what I love to hear from other actors who I come on, who talk to me, and
Yeah.
you can. It doesn't matter what age, I've talked to. You see the passion, you see the love, why they're doing this,
Well,
why they're doing this. Storytelling to change
yeah.
people.
Yeah, that's one thing I've now tell myself when I'm doing auditions is like, look, even if it's a short scene, like you just are trying to tell a story. And remember that, at the foundation as you're telling a story,
Hmm.
and from from your imagination of a character in a certain set of circumstances. And, your job is to tell a story. So be yourself. And I do a lot of improv in auditions these days. Why not? You don't
Yes.
get any redirects in the room. There's no one to tell you anything. So
Hmm.
if it makes sense to lead in with oh, you want to know, you want to know how many languages I speak and whatever the case may be. Of
Right.
course, it's also helpful from getting into character perspective, and you can always cut.
Hmm.
Yeah, you got to tell a story. So
That's true.
yeah, we're
100%.
storytellers, trying to be,
Yes. Well,
and so are you. So thank you for having me.
yes, thank you. And we'll definitely stay in touch.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.